All right, here we go. I think we got down. All right. Well, you guys saw me tear this one down. Um, I finally dug myself out of 2 months of repairs and other things. So we're back after it on the custom builds. This is our DAC 9 that we started. Now this one is getting a tube instead of let's start at the beginning. DACs 9s and 10s were solid state chassis with on this one the tubes are over here, tube type output. On the 10, the chassis over here and the tubes are in the middle. 10's a sideband, this is AM. So we've got this thing stripped down to the bare nothingness. This is where they started, but this is no good for how we're going to rebuild it. Everybody likes to see these when they're done, but rarely do you guys get to see how much actual work goes into doing them. Now I'm just going to go ahead and film this today live so that I can take this little clip and I'm going to put it in this guy's big long video. Only you're not going to see an hour of me cutting on a chassis and whatnot. This is all going to get squatched down into a little quick thing. And but since I got to do it anyway, I might as well have some fun and film it. So what's going to happen here is he's got a Superstar chassis. I forget which one. We're going to lock it on AM. It's not a sideband unit. We're going to lock it on AM. He does not want the extra channels. And once we get a radio chassis prepared, looks a little something like this. Okay. Hope that helps. Looks a little bit of something like this. Now, a lot of these controls have been extended to accommodate going into the face of the DAC. Like here's our this is our channel display, which actually we're going to lose the receive transmit light. Okay. And all it's going to be in that window is this guy. But Mr. Nickel did a pretty nice job of making this. I'm going to tie that up. That makes me nervous. He extended a lot of controls for us last time he was in here. Getting this chassis and another chassis ready to go into the box. This is our actual channel selector. Like that way over wire like that. Oh, somebody's trying to talk on the radio. That's more like it. Okay. So now, what we've been doing from the last time you saw us tear a chassis down to now, a couple things. All right. So this has been prepared. Like I said, case in point, all this is extended. Okay. For our channel selector. Here's the selector, which will go in the face. And our digits will mount up. Whoop, and these will go in the face as well. Like so. All right. So, and then the rest of these guys that all need to be are extended. And a lot of these are not going to be used at all. So, that's this guy. He's all ready to go. We keep these usually when we're working on the metal chassis parts, the body. When we're putting these guys need to shut up. When we're putting the bodies together before we put these motors in, we usually keep these on a plate like so. They don't get moved a lot until they go in. So here, that one's ready to rock and roll. And then the other thing that's gotten done so far, and it's not complete yet, is this is going to be his face. Okay. Now, right now it's a little rough on top. It's on its third coat. But this is usually where we stop because what's going to happen is the whole thing kind of looks like it does in here right after you spray it. It's real orange feeling, real gnarly. This is a light coat after a block, and we're going to block this again. Okay. And then we're going to, and by the time, and the reason we stop now is because we're going to do some fitting stuff over the course of getting this done. And we're going to get this lettered. And something else he's doing different is he's getting gold lettering on this black paint. Now, you see how kind of rough and gnarly this is right now. There are about 4 more coats of clear to go on this before it's actually finished. Okay, because once we get the letters on, we're going to coat the letters in. But on these, when we got to do the whole face like this, if we didn't have to re-letter everything, we would just build this with the face on. But since we got to re-letter everything, we're changing it completely. So he's getting a black face with gold lettering. Now, by the time this one, like I said, you can see it's still a little orange feely, but it's that way for a reason. When it's done, it's going to look more like this. Let's see if we can get make that look. You can really see it. I mean, there's a big difference. So here you go between this and this. This is super fine, super smooth. It's got about 4 more coats of clear on it, but all of the knobs or all of the lettering is now in the clear coat. Now this radio's done. There we go. Get the light glare off of it. That's what it looks like after we put the letters in, clear it, and then bake it. That's what comes out of it. So there's that face, but that's how nice and smooth this one looks now. Get out of glare lights. How nice and smooth this one looks now is how nice this one's going to be when it's done. This one actually looks gnarlier than this when it was at this stage. So this is his face. We're gonna start laying stuff out today. We're gonna get his absolute game plan for where I'm gonna put everything in these controls is gonna go in, and then once that's done, I'll know what's going on here. I kind of know what's. I'm gonna scratch this with my ring again. So I'm gonna take my ring off. I don't want to end up scratching this again. So we're gonna get this laid out, figure out what's what. And then once we know what's what, we're going to take the maker, and he's going to have gold. We're going to print gold lettering, and it's on a clear vinyl. And it's going to go, we're going to get this all re-lettered. And then once it's all where it goes, it's going to get like 4 more coats of clear before we actually bolt this on and start stabbing the controls in for the final time. Now, something else about this was a little bit weird. Somebody, when they put this radio back together, or did some work on it at one time, I've never seen this. I've been playing with DACs for 30 years. I've never seen these like countersunk. It's like somebody had some kind of a lighting kit in it or something. I don't know. But I don't know what they're for. I've never seen it. But that was something that was done. And every one of these switches were like some kind of monstrously glued in glue. We had to break them all up to get them all out. So between that, the fact that the chassis is getting used in a very specific way, and once we got all that lined out, then the other good stuff that goes on inside this one, we get back to our final section on this one. So once that's in here, the face will go on the front. We'll stab the controls in. But right now, we got to get this prepared for the motor. We got to get the body prepared for the motor. So you guys get to watch some boring cutting, because I got to do it, and like I said, we got to film it anyway, so you guys might as well watch and have some fun too. So these tabs have got to go, because what's going to happen is when we build these this way, let's look at the big picture quickly. This 3900 is going to sit just about so, okay? And it's going to have the top lid on it as well when it's done. On top of that, this is the right tube. This is. No, that one's not his. Going through the old tube vault down here. We'll use this one for a prop. He's going to have a 6LQ6 tube. We'll just stand it up right there for now. 6LQ6 tube there. Tuner on the front. Okay. So, in the midst of all this, we have to fit in this heavy little guy. So actually, this chassis is going to sit more here, because this is going to sit here. Okay. This is our filament and high voltage transformer for the tube once it goes in. So now that I'm laying this stuff out, I'm going, okay, there is no set footprint. There is no set pattern, because I never build these radios twice with the exact same radio. It's all a matter to the customer's preference, what he wants in it. Some guys love tubes. I love tubes. That's why we developed this conversion. This is actually a 6LF or 6LR or something. We use 6LQs in this circuit. It's basically identical to the driver circuit in like a Firebird 500, one drive and three style 6LQ6 chassis. So that's what we're stabbing in here with the nice L network. So there's no two tune, load and tune. It's all done on one knob. And this one we're building a little hotter than we've built the last one or two with these tubes. This is getting a transformer that the last ones we built, we kind of let the tubes loaf and a little quick schooling in tubes. When you're playing with these old sweep tubes, guys always say on top, yeah, well, if you touch it, you'll get shocked. Well, they're not lying. Okay. The top of these tubes can be anywhere from 600 to 900 volts of DC. Now, AC throws you, DC grabs you. So if you get your hand next to this, it's going to clamp your muscles. And it's going to be pretty hard to get away from. It's no fun. Trust me, been there. Got the scars to prove it. But what makes this, what can determine how hot this tube runs depends on your plate voltage is a big factor, and bias, of course. But here, what a lot of guys do is they'll drop it. Guys, let's get that out of it. They'll end up volting these tubes. I ran the last one at like 700 volts, and it did real nice, and it peaked about 100, 110 watts. This one, we're going to hit this one with about 850, 925 volts, and we're just going to see what kind of hell and havoc we can wreak and stir up at that voltage level. So then eventually we're figuring out this. I know is going to go here. It's the last two times that's where it went. Bloop, there's going to be a bracket made. He'll live here. This is our filament and high voltage and bias for the tube. So there's this transformer. So now it's time to stop talking and get after it. So we need a level playing field. These got to go. That's what we're going to do next. When you got to chop up these old chassis, well, I speak a lot of body shop terminology. This is not a body shop. I have little miniature tools. When I go cutting and I got to use my Dremel, I use these like fiber, what's it called here? Reinforced. Dremel reinforced. Now, if you use them right, you can get a long time out of them. They'll start to look like that. We're going to use this one to depth. I want every dollar I can get out of these. Are expensive. When that one's done, we're going to switch over. This is a nice fresh new one. So what we're going to do is we're going to lose this. Actually, no, we're going to change that now because I need the length on the disc. Let's do that this way. So we're going to zip this one off. We're going to zip that one off. And then just from experience, I can tell you, right up in here, from here, I'm thinking zoop, 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 about right in there. We're going to zip that out to accommodate for the back of the channel selector board. All right, away we go. A lot of guys hit these and think you can use it like a freaking rip saw. You cannot. You gotta kind of do these like you're cutting glass. Score it a few times, and then buzz through it. It buzzes through a lot easier. Here, take little bites at it. Make sure you're wearing something over your eyes, too. All right, one more. There you go. All right, there's one side. When you feel this starting to go wow, 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 and dig in like that when you're just grazing over it, it will, that's when it's time to chop it. So we got that one off. That's a nice smooth edge. Now, you can bend it and you got to get a freaking Dremel, nice bit. All right, we got one more side to do. Throw that in the pile with all the rest of the pieces parts. Now we got to do this side. This side's a little harder because it's in a little farther. I remember the trick with this side is to go from here. That's what we're going to do. All right, one more tab. Oh, like that. One more time. This side a little bit higher. You gotta really hold on. You gotta really hold on to these things. In order to get the nice, clean cut that you want there, you gotta really maintain your composure. All right, so now let's go over my hand right over it. Now we got a level playing field. Okay. So what's gonna happen is the radio. Now we can work. All right, the radio is going to sit back in this lid, completely shielded when it's over. Once again, they didn't accommodate for us, so we've got to figure out how to work with what they gave us to work with, which in this case is going to be. I think we're going to end up removing. Sometimes we remove the antenna jack, sometimes we don't. And this one we're going to have to because of the depth of the radio. As much as I hate moving this part around. Oh, and the fins. Oh, okay. Burn that bridge when we get there. So at this point, looks like if I let the chassis ride like that, it's really not such a bad deal. However, we got to consider channel selector. So let's lay that dude out. Oh, there's another one I just need to tie. Strain relief. If you're not a believer in it, become a believer in it, or you'll be resoldering a whole lot of shit when you do custom radios. Once again, Superstar did not anticipate me coming along ripping the panties of this radio and throwing it in a base station, but we're doing it. All right, so now we got a little bit of strain relief going on. We can work. Here's our channel selector assembly. right, let's try it like that. All right. So this. Oh, this out of the way. Stubborn. All right. So we know we want the radio to come there. Keeping in mind transformer clearance for the tube. Keep in mind this radio is going to have two different power supplies on it. It's going to be this one. It's going to be this one. Man, it's a big transformer compared to the last one. All right, so there's going to be that guy. I can get a little closer. That's right there about where I'm going. So then we got to look at where does our channel selector line up in conjunction with our face. And right here is the front of our face. Let me see here. Fix this a little bit. Right? This sucks. At this level is the front of our face. This is obviously going to stick out because of set me free. Here, I'll set you free. All right. What's happening here is we're going to have our chassis sitting in about like so. And our transformer is going to live here. And right now you're seeing a reverse image because of the way my camera's set up. It's screwing up in reverse. So our channel selector is going to live in here. The problem is, see how far it sticks out past this plate? Ooh, that's no good. So what we're going to have to do is more sectioning right in here. This is going to get sectioned out so that this can get mounted into the front of this, and then that will get screwed to this when it's done. So that's how that river is going to roll. But the next thing I got to do is cut that out. And I already remember the last one, so we're just going to go ahead and do what needs to be done. So now I got a quick test it. Now this is why we try to move these as little as possible during the assembly planning. This radio's changed design 3 times since the customer and I first started brainstorming about it. Yeah, Kenny, that was your superstar. It works. I can hook it up just like it sits. Okay. All right, so here we go again. The last one I know. We cut from here, whole middle out basically, just because what else is going to make room for doing this is port for wires coming back and forth. You got to remember, in this radio there's going to be a tube type panel. We're going to have a whole SWR bridge. Matter of fact, these are his meters. We're going to take the guts out of these. We're not going to use these. But I'm going to take this bridge out. And SWR calibrate control. The modulation control. And this is only going to be, when I'm done, locked on the 100-watt scale. This is going to be one of his 4 meters. This is going to be driven by this circuit, not these meters. So he's getting this case and these meters back. Okay. So that's just out of general. So we're gonna saw this out, and then I'm gonna pop some holes in the bottom of or pop some holes in that cover that I just moved and lost. Oh, still on the chassis. You lose something 5 feet away from you. I can. Okay. Once we get this sectioned out, we get this guy on here, and yes, we're going to section it out, but I'm going to do it with a jigsaw later. So what's going to happen is, now this is all going to be clear here. It's going to give me plenty of room to maneuver. Okay. There we go. This is all going to be clear in here. We're going to saw this out here, across here, up here, and here, here, and here. So what's going to happen is, once the front panel's on here, nice and straight, Channel selector's got room to sit back in here. And we're going to use the original bracket that Ranger, put Ranger Superstar, whoever the fuck made the radio. Excuse me, whoever the hell made the radio. It's got plenty of room sitting there to maneuver. So, as well, this guy I know is going to live here. So now once we get this cut and sectioned, everybody's always like, I don't see no screws in your mounts, 409. How you mount that chassis? It's just that tape holding it down? No, I'll show you right now how we hold the damn chassis down. Keep your panties on. What's going to happen is we're going to section that out to match that. Okay? Then we're going to go around here. We're going to find all spots that I can of good solid metal. We're going to drill holes around here. And once this is done, it's basically going to get plug soldered to the rest of the chassis. And then the radio is going to sit back here and get screwed down the way it was born. Radio's not going to know, no, never mind, except it thinks it's sitting in a big old mobile case, and it's not. So, yeah, so this is going to go there, boom, 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 boom. Beautiful. We're going to section all that out. Hey, 409, how'd you do that? Well, okay, this is how we do it, and it takes time. You got to cut the stuff up, and none of it's quick, and I want it to be quicker, but I'm sorry, guys. We just dug out of a really big hole of repairs. That's something else, guys. My regular customers, they know what to send me, what not to send me, but new repairs, I mean, just straight repairs, guys, go to your local tech. We are really specializing more in restorations and our conversions, like our Super Duty 2, and and ground ups like this one. So if that's your arena, if that's your wheelhouse, then yeah, check out the videos, and stuff we're doing is kind of cool. You think calls. But yeah, you just need the meters fixed in your 2000. Go to your local guy. It's going to cost you more in shipping than it is for the repair, and it's just something we got to start doing. So now we're back to building radios this week, and next week you're going to see this one just explode, and next week you're going to see another one get tore down to this and come back up with one of our Super Duty boards instead of a tube. So that's enough yakking. Let's get back to cutting. Got to section this front. And this part nobody likes to watch. When it comes out in the final video, it'll be fast motion, so you want to sit there and watch all the cutting. All right, back to chopping. Eat up a disc quick. I remember that co-op from that. This one, I'm actually going to take a jigsaw. I'm going to reverse mark it on the other side, and drill a hole in it, cross cut it back and forth, get that notched out on that one. We're going to let that Dremel cool off for a minute and start planning and plotting on a couple other things. So we're going to finish cutting this out, and we can start figuring out where we're going to plug holes while that disc cools off for a second. So we know this is going to live here. So I know I've got metal here. We're going to flatten that out. We've got metal here. And we got metal right here. And then any place on the outside I can find to tack it along the way, which will end up being, this will be up here. Like that. And we'll end up zapping corners there and corners there with solder. So then this will be in. And I believe on the other side, once that's accomplished, there's a little rail that I can solder to as well. Yep. See, now down here, it'll be like so. What I'll do is under here, I'll run a little bead somewhere. Just like you'd solder steel, I'm just going to, or weld steel, I'm just going to solder it. So at that point, this will be in there. This will be in there solid. Go back to cutting. I finish cutting this out. Yeah. Let's finish cutting this out. This part sucks, but it's all going to be done when you guys want their radios. We're that little guy down to the nub. We're the other one down to the nub too. Ooh, it's hot. That little guy there, boy. He's getting tiny. All right, so we got the top pretty much cut out, except for one little spot right there. I'll finish whacking that. Now, here we go again. Cut as much of this as we can. With what's left of this disc. I'm gonna wear this disc down to nothing if I can. Let me burn that one up for about all worth. Started off with a big disc. And it'll be a not so big disc. Just got some meat on this one. All right, getting there. There we go. There was another one. Another one bites the dust. But I knew this was coming, so I prepared. This one's easier. Could just reach in there and get the right wrench for it. That would be too easy. Wow. What happens is, if you do it right, you can cut straight, you can get these discs down next to nothing. That's the way they start. And we cut all this out. I mean, I've had guys try to drill out big plugs across the face of a radio for different functions, this and that. Just cut them out. It's easier. The Excalibur we just did, we had to section that one for the 10-turn clarifier because of how much larger the pod is. All right, back to business. Let's just cut one more and we're out of here. Oh, that was cool. Do it again. Wow, that was neat. Well, that happens. That's why we can buy new aubers. Well, I've never had one stick like that before. That's new. Oh, I just get the other one out of the metal. It's just unscrewed. Hard hit. I'll snap the screw. Back after it. Everybody wants to read us when they're done. Luckily, in the videos on my website, we only torch you with fast motion on these. That dude should be popping out of there by now. There we go. Now we have room. We'll hit all this file here in a little while. This is all going to get filed out. So we're just roughing everything in right now. All right, so now we got a place for our channel selector to live. Once we get the chassis installed. Move it. Okay. So now that's sectioned out. So I'm not going to section the bottom right now. What I'm going to do is I am going to drill these holes though and get these plugs ready. It's amber on the meters. Right now the meters are in another box getting redone. So this all looks gnarly right now. This is just tape because we're protecting these emblems. And this does get block sanded again right before we put the letters on. And right before we clear it all again one more time. And when we're done, hopefully, that one will look as nice as this one ended up looking. You can see the lights in that one. Look at that. That's pretty cool stuff right there. Yeah. All right, anyway. There we go. Kenny, there's a lot more done than what it looks like, dude. Your chassis is prepared. Face is painted. It's just got to be re-cleared and lettered. We have the lettering. That came in, by the way. If you guys are ordering these custom radios, we used to only do them in a color that we could print. There we go. We used to only do them in a color. If we had to redo the face, we would only do them in a color that we could print with black lettering because that was the only color I had for the machine that we have that does this now. And now we've found a source for the tapes. And we could get gold, silver, all kinds of different colors. Now we're basically not limited on face colors anymore. This is going to be the first dark colored face we've done. And I'm kind of anxious to see how it's going to come out. His tube socket and all that circuit's in and out. Tomorrow, that's what's going to happen there. Tonight, we're gonna cut out the square here off of another piece of steel. And we're going to punch the hole in it for the socket. That's going to get screwed down here. And then we can put the mock tube in here to start figuring out where everything's going to get exactly tacked down. And then once that's all in, radio's tacked in, then it's a matter of just stitching everything together. So one piece at a time. At this point, though, it seems like it takes, like, and this one should be a lot farther than it is. But we are, make no mistake, there's probably already about 15 hours worth of work in this radio. So just keep an eye out. We're going to do this one. We're going to do another DAC 9 with a Super Duty 2 board in it. And this one, I'm thinking, I'm going to say this live on the air. It's today, Wednesday the 28th. Kenny, I'm going to have this back to you within 2 weeks from today. This radio is going to be done. Keep your eyes out, guys. We're going to build this one in the next 14 days. I'm going to build this radio and be handed it to the customer. And by the time I hand it to him, he's probably going to be wanting to beat me with a bat live on YouTube, but he'll be happy when he gets home. All right, here we go. The base is laid out. The wings are gone. We've got to, now this is all going to get filed. I'm not going to sit here and file metal and, just do raw, goofy stuff. But you guys, what's got to go. But I wanted to give you an idea of what it takes just to start setting all this stuff in here. So that's the way this one's going to go. Every other day, I'm thinking also for you guys that like to watch all the time, or you guys like to catch the videos when they come up, I'm thinking I'm going to try to maybe every other day get on here and just do whatever I'm doing that day live. We'll see what happens. So here we go. DAC 9. This is the Shackalack Black DAC. Keep your eyes open, guys. This one's going to be neat. 14 days, Kenny. Time me. We're going to start the clock. This is going to be a nice radio. Well, I guess I've already got a week into it. But actual work about a week. So here we go. Kenny, thanks. Keep your eyes open. Your radio's coming. Everybody else, 7-3, stay safe and wash your damn hands.